I just wanted to say thank you really to God. I've been a Christian probably for just over 40 years. And I grew up in a home that was fairly, my home was very loving, but my church was very, I'd say quite strict. And my picture of God growing up was very distant, quite scary. Showed us his grace, or some people his grace, and then, but didn't really want to have anything else to do with us in my understanding. And that wasn't probably what was preached, but that's what I grew up feeling. And my experience of God was just very distant, a bit like the sky full of lead, and when you pray it just bounces back at you and you just don't really feel God at all. And that's continued, and I have to be honest, I've come to hope, and I've been very honest with people that have got to know me, that I struggle with that. But as I've come here, I've really started to feel a bit of a change in my heart, that there is hope, that God is more than I understand and my experience has shown me. And it's something I've really learnt here, and I think I'm probably a bit thick sometimes and a bit stupid. Maybe it's taken me a long time to learn. But the Bible has got so much truth about God, and it's preached every week. And God does speak to me through the word every week. So I can say, well, God never speaks to me. I never experience God. I don't see him. I don't see him working in my life. But every week since I've come here, there hasn't been one week where I haven't felt that God's spoken to me in some way. And through people I've met here, there's some really special people here. And, I've really been encouraged and made to feel that, God is there. And actually, the last, I would say, 6 weeks, a few things have happened. And it's just given me a little bit of an edge to turn a corner, I feel. And God's encouraged me to put his word into practice. And that sounds really simple. And I've been a Christian 40 years, and maybe it's only now that I'm just starting to realise that putting it into practice is just such a simple thing in one way, but so complicated in another way. We hear the word and we go, yeah, it's true, and we can talk about it. But actually, what do we do on a daily basis? And what do we feel about God when we having a really bad time? Oh, he doesn't care and he's miles away. And I'm just starting to think that, no, actually, the word says he's right by my side. He is walking this journey with me. And I might not feel it every day, and I don't feel it very often, or maybe never. But he will come through. And I'm just starting to sort of have a little bit more hope, a little bit more, maybe that's called faith. And I just wanted to read a couple of verses, because they're verses that I've known for years, but I'm holding on to at the moment, and it's going to be like, what does the word say? And I can pray this now. A bit like Jodie's just said, we have a word, we read it, and then we pray it, and we can say to God, you've said this. I want to hold on to this. So the first one's from Jeremiah 29, and it says, verse 12, I think it is, then shall you call unto me, and you shall go and pray unto me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. And I can look at myself, and I look back on my walk and think, how much heart have I had? I've had lots of stuff up here. I've learnt loads of things. I've read loads of books. But how much has been here in my heart? And how honest am I with God about applying the things that I know, but you kind of put to the side a little bit? So that was the first verse. And another verse is something from Isaiah 58, which was something that jumped out at me when I was probably 14, when I'd just become a Christian. And it talks about God's sort of chosen fast, about the fact that people were fasting in the Old Testament, and they were doing all the right things, and they were wearing sackcloth, and they were pouring ashes over their heads, and they thought they were really religious and good. And God was saying, that's not what I want. I want your heart. I want a sacrifice of your heart, your life. And so it talks about that fast, and people coming to God with their true hearts. And then the verse that stood out to me was verse 11. The Lord shall guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought and make fat your bones. And you shall be like a well-watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters never fail. They that build shall be of you. They that shall be of you shall build the old waste places, and you shall rise up the foundations of many generations, and you shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. And I think it's referring to something where Israel was probably destroyed and they were off in captivity and they came back, and God was saying, I'll restore you. But it's a verse that it's kind of you hold on to, that actually there's water there, there's refreshment, there's God has exactly what we need, and sometimes we don't know why we don't have it straight away, and it takes a while to come. But I think that if we seek him with our heart and we give him our lives, he's faithful and he will come through. And I'm looking forward to hoping to sort of be somebody who can actually help restore other people. Or, you know, our Christian life isn't about ourselves and just being happy. It's about being able to sort of give into other people's lives what God's given to us. And like I say, I'm a bit of a slow learner, and it's taken a long time, but I'm really, really encouraged at the moment to feel that God can do something that I can't do if I'm honest with him and just hold on to him. So, thank you.